Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking courtroom sentencing episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, today we got a defendant going in front of the Honorable Judge West once again. And the crimes that this guy's committed would terrify me going in front of the judge to get sentenced for. This guy happened to have robbed a 14-year-old with a gun to his head. Took his dirt bike and a little bit of cash. I mean, yeah, it was a robbery, but think about it. The gun was to his head. If he accidentally pulled that trigger, that little 14-year-old be toast. So any robbers out there, man, listen up. If you didn't think you'd be facing decades in prison, if caught, man, you better think again. Very rarely do they show leniency in these kind of cases, man, and the prosecution always tries to go for the max, it seems like. So, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today.
He pulls a gun on a 14-year-old kid and steals not only that kid's dirt bike, but also a small amount of cash from that 14-year-old. The PSI indicates that 14-year-old is so traumatized by this, they can't even attend public school anymore, Judge. When he was apprehended with that stolen dirt bike, there was a vehicle associated with this defendant, and in that vehicle were other subjects who had 4 firearms in that vehicle, Judge. And as if that was not bad enough, he goes on to brag about this criminal activity on social media. And if that wasn't bad enough, Judge, he goes on to taunt the victim of the UUMV on social media as well. Judge, he is youthful, I'll acknowledge that. He does not have any adult criminal history, Your Honor, I will acknowledge that. But Your Honor, what he has engaged in is beyond the pale. He needs prison time, in my opinion, Your Honor, and that's what we're asking this court to do. If somehow, in any way, shape, or form, the court's considering community supervision, we'd ask for shock probation, some prison time up front, and then shock him out on community supervision. Judge, again, this is just beyond the pale. And I think the PSI speaks for itself. Thanks, Judge.
It's never good when the prosecutor's fighting tooth and nail for you to go to prison. You heard what he said, too? He doesn't even have an adult criminal record. He might have done some juvie stuff, right? Like me, I went to juvie jail a few times before I went to the big house. And when you're in jail, you know, you hear about people's charges. You watch and wait for them to go to court, come back, see what they got. And little did I know that robbery of any kind, especially with a firearm, was sending people to prison for longer prison terms than I could ever imagine. So if I were to guess, this guy's probably going to get a decent amount of smoke, but the only thing that could possibly be saving him is no criminal history, his young age. Could get him a little bit of prison time, like the prosecutor said, with a little shock treatment. And that's like extreme probation. Many people do not complete that program, end up going right back to prison. But let's find out if the Honorable Judge West is going to spare this young man today. Let me know in the comments before I press play if you think he's going to get a little slap on the wrist. Looks like she's having a little
Mr. Chopin
struggle figuring out what she's gonna do. I mean, it's got to be tough for a judge, right? A young guy like this, the amount of time that they're asking is probably like 10 years or more. I mean, that could completely change your whole life. The amount of power that's in these judges' hands is terrifying. So once again, man, don't be committing no robberies or anything that could possibly even get close to landing you in prison or jail.
These cases for me with kids your age are so hard. And I have for a very long time tried very hard to give chances. But all of the guns and the riding around and I mean, so you're January 2019, you're put on January of 2019, you are put on probation, juvenile probation. You violated it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On your 7th time to violate, they finally sent you to TJJD, right? 7 times you were given an opportunity.
Man, that's a lot of breaks he was cut. But let me explain a different side of this story, alright? I went to juvie jail, went through the Scare Straight programs, probation, you name it. And I don't think there's any juvenile that I've seen that was passing probation. We were all messing up. We all kept smoking, we all kept doing stupid shit. We're juvies. We ain't learned nothing yet, man. It takes a little bit of time. Growing up, aging, right? I'm not saying that all juvies do that. I'm just saying it's very common. You can almost expect these young dudes to mess up. Guaranteed. I was at that age, man. I can't believe the difference between how I'm thinking now versus then. I was so lost when I was young, it's unreal. So yeah, I can understand how the sentencing in these cases can really put some mental turmoil on the judge. Just like she said, he's so young, it's hard to do these.
You go to TJJD, obviously you're not there very long.
And that's juvie jail.
Because you get out, and then in December of 2022, you commit an unlawful carrying a weapon, evading arrest or detention, and you're again put on probation. You're given another opportunity in January of 2023. So in this year, you were put on probation for a gun case and an evading case. While you're on that probation, after you've been to TJJD, you commit these 3 offenses while you're on probation.
Yeah, dude's about to get a taste of that adult world. Whether your brain's developed or not, man, that crime was still committed. And this dude has had every last chance under the sun. Even after getting caught with a gun, they gave him more probation. Don't feel sorry for what happens to him today, if he gets that one-way trip ticket to Smokeville.
In January of 2023. So in this year, you were put on probation for a gun case and an evading case. While you're on that probation, after you've been to TJJD, you commit these 3 offenses while you're on probation.
I always tell y'all there's 2 things that you definitely don't want to do on probation. One is just not show up, man. They'll come and get you. And the courts find that to be very disrespectful, man. You ain't working with the program whatsoever. You just buck immediately. Yeah, Smokeville. And number 2, of course, is catching a fresh felony. And I think this is probably the worst one of them all. They can be a very big toss-up because when you're on probation, you don't violate unless you're found guilty. So let's say you catch a fresh case and you beat it. Guess what? Your probation usually is going to be reinstated. But if you're found guilty, you're going to be sentenced for violations and the fresh crimes, man. Your ditch is going to be so deep, it's going to take you years to get out of it. So like I say all the time, better be an angel and follow those rules and regulations and probations to a T.
None of it makes sense that I want to do better. And I mean, all this riding around with guns and masks and stealing, and it's just crazy.
Yep.
It's just crazy. Go have a seat in the jury box. I gotta think about this one some more. So what I've done in addition to obviously just...
She had to sit him in the jury box to deliberate with herself on what she should do. Look, like I said, man, if I was a judge, I'd be at turmoil as well.
So what I've done in addition to obviously just thinking about it and looking at all of this a little bit more is ask and get any incident reports that you've had since you've been in custody.
Oh, no.
Mr. Chopin, I appreciate Mr. Lewis and what he's done and the arguments he's made for you. And like I said before, it really kills me to
oh no
what I feel like I have to do to young people. But we are in Jefferson County tired of young people running around here with guns. You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on. You've had opportunities at probation, and unfortunately, those haven't worked. You've actually already had 2. You were sent to TJJD, you got out, you still committed offenses, and then you got probation again, and then you're here. So all this talk of I want to do right and I'm going to do better is just a bunch of baloney. The way you can't follow the rules in jail shows me same pattern. You can't follow the rules.
So I guess that incident report from jail is stating that he's not following the rules and regulations. man, what you doing there can definitely affect your sentencing, especially if you're acting a fool. Them COs, sergeants, lieutenants gonna write up the filthiest, dirtiest reports up on you and personally hand deliver them to the judge with a couple 2 cents to go with it. And look, judging by her demeanor now after she came back and thought about it, yeah, she's had enough of these damn robbers. This guy, man, if I were to guess, is getting bubble gutty right now, right? I'd be farting all over myself knowing damn well a lot of times coming my way. Something's coming, but how much?
23 DCCR 0993. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unauthorized use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison.
Ooh.
You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive.
Man, that's not good. 2 years is a hike for an unauthorized use of a vehicle. You can only imagine what he's going to get for the strong arm robbery. The big question, I guess, is are they going to run it concurrent or consecutive?
In cause number, and these were all just open. So in cause number 23, DCCR 0991, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 10 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive.
10 years of this man's life gone for evading arrest in a vehicle. I've been telling y'all since the beginning too, man. Look, it's much different running on foot versus a vehicle. A felony difference. So if you gotta go or wanna go, choose to go, I'd choose feet. Keep it in a misdemeanor range, man. Shit.
Cause number 23, DCCR 0992. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated robbery. Sentence you to a term of 25 years in the Internal Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon.
But ladies and gentlemen, let that sit in. Armed robbery of a 14-year-old, took his dirt bike, got him 25 years in prison. Man, yeah, my stomach's bubbling right now. Like, I gotta go use a bathroom. Like, I just got sentenced.
These cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. So I am denying the state's motion to accumulate, which is a gift to you. I am
Merry
going
Christmas.
to grant the state's motion to forfeit the weapon, which is a Taurus Millennium G2 pistol bearing serial number TIP 10158.
Old Taurus jank. But that's wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, I actually have another armed robbery sentencing coming your way. And you can believe the shenanigans that happened in the courtroom after he gets sentenced. So be on the lookout for that. And the only way to do that is by hitting that notification bell, setting it to all. And look, really take this into consideration, all you gangsters out there, thieves, robbers, or whatever, man. You could be facing this amount of time too. It ain't just Texas, it's many states across the country. You use a gun to rob someone, man, you're going to be facing decades, if not life, in prison. Glad I'm not in his shower shoes, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully y'all are too. Until the next time, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.